if you haven't checked out the apps on how to pass your NASM exam, then I suggest you check out the video here. I'll put it somewhere. I don't know. Somewhere in here. And I go into greater detail, give you screenshots and everything on what I used to pass the exam and what apps I think are best. I tell you how much they cost, and I believe I put a link to all of the apps themselves as well. So yeah, apps. I downloaded the following onto my Android phone. Of course, every single one of these are on the iPhone. Check that out as soon as I jump ship. NASM CPT by NASM. Some of the questions, words are word for word come from this app. What I mean is some of the questions from the exam literally come from the NASM app from NASM. I'm literally like word for word, exact same question. The NASM prep by MedPreps. This one helped me the most. The user interface is clean, very interactive, not intimidating. It not only gives you the right answer, but it tells you why it's the right answer, which no other app I've came across helps you with that. So it gives you greater understanding on, you know, why you got that one wrong and what you need to study and why the answer was right. You can memorize stuff till the cows come home, but memorizing isn't anything without action. You know, you want to understand the full great detail of why that's the answer, not just it's dysfunction. You know, it's not going to help you in the long run. The other app that I downloaded was NASM Trainer by Exam Prep. This one's by Upward Mobility. If you go to bodybuilding.com or any other forum, this is hands down the most, I don't want to say research, but most talked about app that I came across. Everybody and their mama knew about it. There was like pages among pages among pages on bodybuilding.com on their forums and there about this particular app. And this email that I'm reading to you is pretty old, but at that particular time, that had 475 questions. I'm sure it's probably like upward to like 600 questions or something like that by now. And it has a test taking mode and all kinds of options. So that's NASM Trainer Exam Prep by Upward Mobility. Like I said, check out that video that I made on the apps and go into greater detail about that. I use bright colored flashcards. I don't know if the color had anything to do with it, but don't know if it had the help. I mean, don't know if it helped at all. But I use yellow cards for one section, neon, pink, green, you get it. Now to the content. All right. So if you know these, there's no doubt in my mind you will pass for sure. Like I said, everyone that I've sent this guide to has passed. Not a single person has came back to me and failed after telling them what covered or what my second experience was. So this whole second half covers everything that the exam went over. And I remember it because I studied and I failed the first time. So, of course, I remember everything that I went over. So, let's get to it. Fitness assessment. This is vital. You need to know your fitness assessment, not only for the exam, but when you have clients or potential clients in the future. You'll need to know how to do an assessment. Obviously, this is crucial. And now, going forward, I understand why it was pretty heavy on the exam. Because it is vital. It is vital that you know this. Okay. Fitness assessment. Planes of motion. A couple exercises in each. You know, you need to know your planes of motion. It's simple. Like I said, I'm not going to go into great detail about these because, one, if I do, it's not really going to help you. I don't want you to memorize. I want you to actually get the foundation of it. So fitness assessment, you need to know your planes of motion, a couple exercises in each plane of motion. You need to know your YMCA 3-minute step test. You need to know subject versus objective information. This one covered about 5 to 8 of the questions on the exam easily. You need to know your target heart rate zone, target heart rate training zone. This one is all about the numbers. Remember them because the test questions will be either completely off or switch the zone levels around. Doesn't make much sense to me. I guess what I'm saying is, as far as your target heart rate training zones, it's pretty much either on or off. There's no way around it. If you know your target heart rate zones, like, there's no way you can get it wrong. You know, if something, it's either you have the exact number or you do not have the exact number. So this is something simple, insanely simple, that this should not be something you miss on an exam. Either know the number or get it wrong. There's no way around it. You need to know the Rockport walk test, pronation distortion syndrome, lower cross syndrome, upper cross syndrome. You need to know what causes that and what you need to look for. You need to know those 3 for sure. The pronation distortion syndrome, lower cross syndrome, upper cross syndrome. I'm repeating it because you need to know it. Know your stretches. Static. This one will be obvious. If you don't know your static stretches, go back to that chapter because this is the insanely obvious one. You need to know static, active, and dynamic stretching. There will be plenty of questions on the 3. You need to know your local stabilization system, your global stabilization system. Know all those muscle groups, all those body parts, because they will continuously be throughout the exam. Make sure you know which exercises go with the levels, such as stability, strength, hypertrophy, etc. You need to know which exercises go in each. If one exercise, stability is pretty simple. I mean, if you can't get stability, if anything, that should be the one that you simply do not have any problems with at all. You're not going to see any stability exercises in maximum strength or hypertrophy or strength. You simply aren't. Stability, of course, you know, that's mainly for beginners. What are you going to be training? Once you're done, once you pass your exam, you're mainly going to be training beginners. So this is something that you really need to know, and you should not miss that. Once again, make sure you know your exercises that go with stability, strength, hypertrophy, and etc. You need to know your kinetic chain checkpoints, your general adaptation syndrome, GAS. You need to know your SAID principles, SAID. You need to know your adaptations for resistance training. You need to know your progressions and regressions. And you need to know the differences between concentrically, isometrically, and eccentrically. You need to know those 3 because they are also throughout the entire exam. I saw that in not great detail, but a lot of questions covered those 3. I need to know the range of motion tempos. Wasn't really too many questions on those, but you need to know that because it's either, like I said, either you know those specific number groups or you do not. There's no way around it. It's either know it or don't. So it's something simple that you should know. Something simple that you can't afford to get wrong. Basics. Recommended protein intake. Recommended fiber intake. Both of them were on the exam. Both of them are something you need to know, especially in the future when people come to you, hey, what should I be eating? Or how much should I be eating of this? Or how much protein should I be taking? Or how much calories I should be taking? These are questions that your friends, family, coworkers, everyone's going to start asking you once you have the certification. Everybody and their mom is going to be asking you this. So make sure that you know this for sure. Let's go on to the rest. Be familiar with the classic fad diets, such as Atkins. I do not remember paleo being on the exam at all, but you need to know the typical classic. When I say classic, I mean like past like 5-10 year type of diets. It doesn't have to do anything with detoxing and all that juicing stuff that people are doing nowadays. Maybe NASM is a little dated, but it doesn't go into any kind of detoxifying or juicing, any of that kind of stuff at all. You just need to know the typical trendy diets, what their goal is, and and all that. Let's see what's next. You need to know how much water men and women should be drinking. Both were on the exam. And that's something that you should know. As far as water does so much to you. Like you lose so much weight by taking the recommended amount of water every single day. It just drops off you. When I had a trainer the very first time, he's like, drink a gallon of water every single day. You need to flush everything out of you. It's just something that you're going to want to recommend to your clients, to your new members. When you're trying to get new members, you're going to want to tell them about water intake. So make sure you know how much men and women should be getting daily, according to NASM. Let's see. You need to know the calorie count for proteins, carbs, and fats. This goes into, if it fits your macros, which, you'll be creating macros for your future clients. You need to know how many calories are in proteins, how many calories are in carbs, how many calories are in fats. You need to know that every single question regarding one of those was on the exam. And that basically covers the meat of the exam. If you know that, to me, in my opinion, there's no doubt that you will pass this exam. And, I hope I did a good job of explaining what the test went over as far as my experience. Like I said, had to take it twice. But that's pretty much the meat of it. Everything else, as far as like, if you can see, like I'm probably about to go into this in a little bit, but it didn't really cover too much of the bones, too many muscle groups or anything like that. Yeah, NASM wants you to know that. Yeah, you're going to want to know that. Yeah, you need to know that. But as far as getting through the exam and getting certified, it does not go into great detail about every single body part as far as muscles and skeletons and bones and all that stuff. All you need to know is your basics and you're good to go. So don't wreck your brain trying to learn all this and all that, because it doesn't cover that. All the practice exams I've taken, all the study guides, and being that I've taken it twice, I think I would know a little something about it. And I just want to let you know, it does not go specifically into every single muscle group, every single bone, joint movement. Just it's not necessary. You will need to know that in the future, but for the exam, you do not. And like I said, that basically covers the meat of the exam and the heavy hitters. This is what you need to pass the exam. That is the meat. Like I said, notice I didn't mention any muscles and bones. The exam doesn't go too far into it, just because the muscles and bones, just because you need to know the basic, like I was saying earlier. Nothing too crazy. Hope this helps. Please let me know how you do. Comment below. If this video helped in any kind of way, please comment, share, subscribe. And when you comment, just let me know. If it didn't help, if your exam didn't cover any of this, which I seriously doubt you'll be saying that, leave a comment, email me, hit me up, let me know. Maybe I will need to make a detailed video in the future, but I just wanted to cover the meat of the exam. The meat means the heavy hitters of the exam, what you will need to pass. And I covered all of that. So yeah, hope you do the best. And yeah, I'm just going through the email. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The one thing that I can recommend for sure is for the exam, the day of the exam, make sure you plan something fun. Make sure you plan something fun to do after the exam. Because if you fail and you just go home after you fail, that whole day and the whole weekend, if you take it on a weekend, it's just ruined. You're not gonna have any fun. You're going to doubt yourself, and you're going to dwell on the negative. All you're gonna think of is, I'm not good enough, or this person's certified in this, or you're gonna go to gym. You're gonna start noticing personal trainers more. They're gonna stand out more, and you're gonna be like, man, I wish I was one of them, or man, I wish I was there. And you're gonna feel like a failure. Don't let that define you. Plan something fun. If there's a movie coming out, plan on watching a movie after you take your exam, whether you plan or fail. Plan a day to hang out with your friends or go out to eat with your friends. That way, even if you don't pass, you still have something fun to do. You still have something to look forward to. It's going to boost your confidence. Your family and friends are going to be there to back you. You don't want to be just sitting by yourself alone, bored, and just depressed. Nobody wants that. So make sure you plan something. And what if you do pass? What if when you will pass? If you study everything that I suggested, there's no reason why you should not pass. I didn't go into great detail. I just gave you the meat. I gave you the basics of what you need to know. And that covers more than enough of the exam. And if you plan ahead, have something, an event or something planned after you pass the test, it's like the cherry on the sundae, like you have something to look forward to. Hey, I'm going to the movies. I'm certified, passed, and I get, have a treat. So there you go. Hope that helped. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.